What's going on there, guys? We back with another one. And today, we got to talk about Deion Sanders and Mad Dog Russo joining Lee Corso with the discourse against Coach Prime. And I think the way they feel don't really have a foundation. And people are speculating that this is just racial undertones. They don't like what they're seeing with his meteoric rise and the college football world. And what makes this crazy is the Nebraska coach, he was one of the first ones publicly to speak ill about Coach Prime in the transfer portal. You know, he said he wanted to coach his guys, and Coach Prime, you know, he's just wanting to build a team, which is perfectly legal. He has to turn this thing around. The next 3 or 4 years, they're expected to be title contenders, and that's what they brought him in under the assumption of. Well, Chris Mad Dog Russo, man, we saw what Lee Corso had to say about him the other day. Now, it's probably time for Lee Corso to come off TV, all jokes aside. Just the way he was slurring his words and everything. I don't know what ESPN is doing up there, but let him go out gracefully, you know, for all the good times that he's had there. But let's check out what Russo had to say. Stephen A. Smith was shocked. Let's peep.
Doug, what do you think? What has Deion Sanders done for college football?
I'll tell you right now, I will root like crazy for Nebraska on Saturday afternoon. Oh, my God.
Didn't your kid go to Nebraska?
No.
Wisconsin.
Oh,
Lord.
Wisconsin.
You're unbelievable.
Laugh,
You're
Paul. That
unbelievable.
was funny.
You're
Laugh,
unbelievable.
Laugh over there. Listen, he's a breath of fresh air. I thought it was a great hire when Colorado made the move. They were a disastrous program. His kid, it's a good story. He brings the Travis Hunter in, plays both ways. He gets him to go from Florida State to Jackson State, and then he goes out to Boulder. They have USC at home, which will be interesting. That's later on. They have USC going to their place. But I'm a little Deion'd out already. So I know they play Nebraska this weekend. And we know that maybe our little pal will be there.
How are you Deion'd out when he backs it up, though?
Paul, you and I do a little kumbaya Saturday about 11 o'clock in the morning. Go Matt Rule and go Cornhuskers. I want to see you on that wheels up, all bummed out, 31-14 Nebraska. I'm a little Deion'd out.
Whereas I hear other schools talking about they can't wait for today, the transfer portal, they can't wait to go out. I can't wait to coach my guys. Like, let me tell you that. Like, I'm not thinking about anybody else other than this team that's out here. So
rivalries are rivalries. There's some more severe than others. I like it. It's delightful. So I've learned the severity, the serious nature of this rivalry, and I'm embracing it 100%. This is personal. That's the message of the week. This is personal.
So, yeah, man, you heard it there from Coach Prime. This game is personal, and Nebraska and Colorado has been a rivalry, but you add in what Coach Rule said about him in the transfer portal. Other than Nick Saban, you know, he was the first person to speak against Coach Prime, and actually the first one to come out against him since he's been at Colorado. Nick Saban was mad about the Travis Hunter thing, but he was the first one talking about Coach Prime and the portal and everything. And looking at Chris Mad Dog Russo, I mean, what is it against Coach Prime? You're free to root for Nebraska. You're free to root for anybody you want. You don't have to go for Coach Prime, but why are you so anti-Coach Prime? What is this? You know, if this isn't the racial undertones that people are claiming it is, you know, let us know. Because Russo, he has several takes that make me look at things, you know, with the side eye, but I be trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, man. I know a lot of people come in the comments sometimes and say that you playing that card too much, but I just point out the obvious, man, and things that, and let me say this, if some of these things that some of these analysts do don't make you feel away, then you're part of the problem too. Because we just alerting you. This is a safe place for conversation. Like I listen to your points, you listen to our points, man. We don't like stuff like Chris Mad Dog Russo's doing, because he could just say he rooting for Nebraska and leave it at that. He's anti-Deion. He's going anti-Deion. And when that's the stance, what is it about him that makes you want him to lose so bad? You want him to fail bad? You don't like to hear his mouth? This has to go back to, you know, him reporting and him seeing Deion in the prime of his football career or something. This doesn't stem from here. If it isn't like a racial thing, it stems from somewhere else. And I'm going to do my research, and I'm going to try to find, has he ever interviewed him or encountered him at any other time that's causing him to feel this way? Because a lot of times with these reporters, it'll be some backstory. It'll be something that happened 20 years ago, 30 years ago. You'll have these things just sitting. So when something like this arises, there's a reason, that they feel this way. And if he's holding us on from something that long ago, man, hopefully he can let it go. But Coach Prime speaking out, doing his thing, this is a part of who he is. This is a part of his recruiting tactics. I mean, it worked at Jackson State. It's definitely going to work at Colorado. Nebraska has a chance to win the game for sure. But Nebraska, another thing I didn't like that his coach did is he said that they should be ranked in the top 10 this week, trying to place himself as the underdog after he talked that big talk. You talk that big talk, so you expected to win. You ready to coach your guys, right? So you go out there and do that, and you stand on that, man. Don't try to say they top 10 to brace for a softer landing if y'all lose, man. If y'all lose, y'all lose. You going into Colorado, it's some expectations for this team now, whether they like it or not. Because when you have two guys officially on Heisman watch, depending on how your season go, it's kind of hard to say that team doesn't have any expectations. After the way they look first week, there is a such thing as them underachieving now, because the projections of what they should do this year kind of changed. And then, like I said, if you got two potential Heisman winners or from a talent perspective on your team, and you got a young freshman like Dylan Edwards that's dynamic in that way, you no longer get to play, underdog, except for, a few instances. Like if you play an SEC team or you play, a bigger line up front, smash mouth football, you might be in a little trouble, but you don't get to say that this team isn't to go out there and compete. People are just waiting for them to lose to somebody 45-10 or 55-0 or something like that. They just can't stand it. So I'm hoping that don't happen, man. I hope they go out there and compete every game. I know they got some obstacles on both sides, O-line, D-line, but I'm hoping they go out there and compete every week, man, because I like seeing good football games at the end of the day. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace.